Hello Aquarius and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be looking at all three sides of the connection, so we'll look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we'll be looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section we'll be looking at what is the deeper purpose of the connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, and especially if you're a cross watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, we're going to jump on in. We're going to start by looking at all three sides of the connection, your energy, their energy, and the truth of the connection with oracle cards. And then we'll dive deeper into the reading with tarot as we progress. But let's first start, Aquarius, looking at your side of this connection to the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. All right, this is Aquarius's energy toward the person they are dealing with. Deja vu is the first card out here. So there's some sort of cycle that's repeating in this connection, almost as if, you know, the way that things happen, it's kind of like, oh, here we go again. And this might not just be with this person, but with your experience in relationships in general. For some of you, it's dealing with a specific person. For others of you, I feel like this cycle could apply to maybe like multiple people. With this Know Your Worth card, I feel like you've experienced things in relationships over time that, or maybe with this person, again, take it as it resonates for you, but that has made you start to really second guess your worth or what it is that is possible for you in love. And I don't necessarily know if it's, you know, failed relationships or betrayal or abandonment or what, but I do feel like there's something that keeps happening in this connection or in your relationships that has you going, am I ever going to be able to have the love that I deserve? And I think that that's natural and normal to start to question, but cycles are, you know, they're able to be broken and they're usually teaching us something. So if we're willing to look at the lesson or to address what's going on below the surface, then we can break out of them. And sometimes cycles that we're stuck in do keep us from the love that we deserve and desire. But I don't necessarily know what it is with this person, but I do kind of feel like you're getting in this place where you're like, here we go again. This person's energy toward you. So let's see what they've got going on here. Trapped. Money versus love. This person's trapped in their own cycle. Because, okay, this love card here, to me, I feel like this person does have genuine feelings for you, but then underneath that, you have wild card. So I feel like this person, when I see this money versus love card, I don't typically see it as like somebody is choosing money over love or vice versa. I really feel like it's kind of surface level versus depth, you know, ego-driven decisions versus soul-driven ones. And I feel like this person is kind of stuck in ego-driven decisions, and I don't necessarily know why, but I do feel that these ego-driven decisions are keeping this person from being able to show up in this connection in the way that does align with your worth and what it is that you deserve and desire here. And I don't know why they have this trapped energy. Remember, this is just overall energy. This is just giving me a very big picture of what's going on, and then we'll break it down more with tarot. But let's look in between this connection. This is between you and the person that you are dealing with here, Aquarius. What is the truth of this? The deeper purpose of this connection here. Ooh. Connection, quality time, and friendship on the bottom here. So, okay, I feel like this person's behavior is very confusing to you for a lot of different reasons, but mainly, I do feel like there is a connection here. Like there is depth in this connection. And I feel like you would think that the more time that you and this person spend together, the more that this connection has the potential to grow and deepen, that it would make this person, closer to you, right? That they would open up more, that there would be more intimacy and more vulnerability. I actually feel like it's been the other way. As this connection has deepened, as things have gone on, I feel like this person has started to create more distance. And then that has you going, what the hell, right? Because then you're like, well, what did I do wrong? Or what did they not like? Or whatever the case might be. And it's almost like you go from something that feels really deep and has a lot of potential to something that is then all of a sudden very surface level. Maybe there's ghosting. Maybe there's, just a lack of effort. There's just this feeling that, like a switch flips almost. And I feel like that this is the cycle for you, whether it's with this person or with connections that you've had to this point. So let's break this down. I feel like there's a lot to go over here. Overall theme of this reading between Aquarius and this person. And do forgive me, my stomach is growling right now. I'm doing this reading right before lunch. You hear that? Because I feel like this is like right above my stomach. So my stomach growls. I feel like you guys hear it. Truth of the connection between Aquarius and this person. Pride keeps us apart. And again, I see this pride and ego kind of interchangeably. And I feel like, ego is the biggest thing keeping this connection apart. But in what way? Overstepped boundaries. But I feel like, okay, there's this is what's confusing, is I think that there is a genuine desire and that feelings are real and mutual here. So I feel like what you're kind of going through with this person is a lot of back and forth. There are times, where I feel like this person is very present and it feels like they care about you and they want this connection to work, and you get your hopes up and you get very excited. And then all of a sudden things change like really drastically. Like the hot and cold is very drastic. And I think that puts you in this place of like, what the hell is going on, or what can I do to make this stop? So let's dive into this further. This person's energy toward you. Know your worth. With money versus love, or with deja vu. And I'm still drawn to this money versus love card. Don't know why. I feel like that's going to be an important part of kind of understanding what the cycle is here. This person's Aquarius's energy toward this person. Goodness, I feel like your guys' energies are actually very similar. It's almost like you're more similar than you think you are in a lot of ways too. Okay, let me just see here. Aquarius' side of the connection. Death in reverse. There is a cycle. The death in reverse is usually an indication of a cycle that's struggling to end. There's a lot of resistance toward it, and then seeing that with the 5 of Wands here. 7 of Wands. 4 of Wands, okay. Is this, no, this is upright, okay. Hierophant in reverse. Is that, yeah, 4 of Pentacles in reverse. It's this energy of being blindsided. Okay, and I think that, like, if I were to kind of tell the story, and I mean, I'm sure there could be some things that are a little off, but just like very big picture, I feel like, you met this person and things maybe felt very instant. very instant and very exciting. You know, a lot of really intense feelings associated with it. And immediately, like, I feel like you started to kind of picture what, you know, a future with them would look like. With this Four of Wands, like almost kind of like, to me, I'm seeing this card as, you know, like imagining kind of what things would look like looking at a painting almost. I feel like you had, you know, certain expectations for this connection and the way that things were going to unfold. And then it feels like you were, you know, definitely left with a lot less than, you know, have been left with a lot less than what you had wanted here. And I feel like you know, I do feel like you carry this energy of being willing to fight really hard for things, for people that you love, for your relationships. And I feel like you brought a lot of that into this connection as well. You know, I want to make this work. I want to do what I can. And I feel like you really poured a lot into this person, into this connection. And it just felt like no matter how hard you try, it was like hitting this brick wall. Like no matter how hard you tried, it was trying to get back to almost like how things were in the beginning. But I just feel like this person almost really shut you out, but it does feel like it happened very quickly, and it feels like it kind of blindsided you in a lot of ways. So I feel like for you, you're kind of in this place of trying to figure out, you know, what happened, what went wrong, what you did, what they, you know, what they're thinking, what they're feeling. And I feel like the goal with this reading is, you know, to help provide you with a lot of that clarity. This Hierophant in reverse is a need for a perspective shift, which, you know, when I see the Hierophant in reverse, I feel like this is a perspective that isn't serving you or a perspective that is keeping you stuck. And I feel like right now there's a perspective that you have on this connection that is keeping you stuck. And I don't necessarily know the full picture of what this is, but I do feel like it's tied a little bit to this Know Your Worth card and this feeling that, you know, when you're dealing with this energy, you start to really second guess your worth, right? You second guess, you know, well, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe, you know, people get to know me and then they leave because there's something inherently wrong with me. And I feel like this is like, there's a lot of second guessing yourself, second guessing your value and what you bring to the table. And I think that, again, that's very natural, but I feel like Spirit's saying there's more to this story than I feel like you're currently able to see. And that's what I feel like Spirit's trying to bring through here, is that bigger picture, you know, what's going on behind the scenes, underneath the surface. So with that being said, let's look at this person's energy toward you. Because I feel like you have, your soul's kind of tired here. Like the energy in this is really low. And I feel like because you've poured a lot into this, or maybe into just relationships in general, and I feel like you keep kind of getting the short end of the stick, like no matter how hard you fight or try. This person's energy toward you, money versus love, with Trapped here. This person's energy toward you, Aquarius. So what's going on with them? A lot is going on with them. Seven of Wands in reverse. Six of Cups. You could be dealing with a fire sign, Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. You don't have to be, though, because I feel like that kind of means something a little, not different, but in addition to that. The Tower. What else is going on with this person? Eight of Pentacles. And then the Empress. See, they view you as this Empress here. Someone very caring, very compassionate. Like they know you're a gem here, Aquarius. Okay. This person's got a lot going on. Right out of the gate, like with this Seven of Wands in reverse, I feel like this person really struggles with trusting themselves, but I feel like because of that, they also really struggle with trusting other people. I feel like they have a very cynical view on love and on relationships, and a lot of this has to do with what they've experienced in the past. I feel like this person has experienced a lot of failed relationships in the past, maybe heartbreak, betrayal, abandonment, similar kind of things that, to be honest with you, I feel like they do. Hurt people, right? So they've been through a lot in their relationships, and I feel like because of that, they really struggle to trust that anybody does genuinely love them. And I think that makes it really hard for you because you do. I feel that your feelings are genuine here. But this person puts you in this position of never feeling like you're enough or like your love is enough because they don't feel that they're worthy of it. So it's almost like they push it away because they don't feel that they're, deserving of accepting it. This person is very passionate. I feel like they're very passionate, and I feel like their energy can be very intense. And I feel like because of that, when they're feeling good and they're feeling safe, I feel like that's why they come on, really strong. And maybe, I don't want to say there's love bombing, because I think love bombing can often mean that they're doing it intentionally to be manipulative, but I feel like that's not really what is going on here. They're really passionate about the things that they care about. So they come on really strong. But then when those fears start to arise, or those feelings of being unworthy or being not good enough start to arise, they really shut down. They push you away. They create that distance. And it puts you in this space of trying to make sense of what the heck is happening here. Now, the Tower is something that I feel it seems that they always find themselves burning down their relationships. Like, that's kind of what I'm gathering from this. I don't know if it's self-sabotage. I don't know if it's, being a runner. It's definitely emotional unavailability. It's almost like they have this desire to love and be loved, but they're so emotionally closed off that they don't ever let anybody get close enough or let a connection deepen enough to have it. And it doesn't mean that they don't want it. It means that right now they're very driven by ego. And our egos, not to be demonized, our ego's primary goal is survival. So your ego is going to make decisions to keep you safe, to keep you in, a place where you are not able to get hurt. And for this person, that is being vulnerable. That's being open to love. And, the goal in life is to get to a point where, our ego doesn't make decisions for us, right? Because if our ego knows we can survive certain situations, such as being alone or not having the love that we deserve and desire, it's going to opt for choosing those dynamics and those cycles because it knows what that feels like. And I feel like that's really what this person does here. I feel like they either choose to distance themselves from people who love them, or to choose relationships that are very, very surface level, where it's almost like they don't have enough skin in the game to really ever get hurt. So that keeps them in this place of really being safe and protected, but it also keeps them from being able to have the love that they deserve. And, there is a lot of really, I feel like this person sees you in a really high light. I feel like this person values you. I feel like they see, all of the wonderful things that you have to provide. But I feel deep down, it's almost as if this person is scared of how much they do feel for you. And I think that it's almost like, well, if I've been hurt in the past, and, I just don't want to go back there. I don't want to go back to surface level connection. All right, I want to choose surface level connections because I don't want to go back to getting hurt. Or I want to push away anything with depth because I don't want to experience that kind of pain. So this is definitely you can call it avoidant, you could call it emotional unavailability, call it whatever you want, but it's the foundation of it, the root of it is I've been hurt before and I don't trust that I'm not going to be hurt again. So I'm not going to allow myself to really open up to being loved. So it's almost like it's hard because they literally won't let you love them. I know you have that love and I know that you have that care, but they literally won't let you love them. Now, they're trapped in their own cycle, right? Pushing away love or choosing it in very surface level places where they're not finding it, right? But on the other side of this, there's a cycle for you too. And that cycle for you is choosing people who seem to never be able to accept what it is that you have to give or to reciprocate it. And I feel like that's the cycle that Spirit is trying to draw your attention to through this connection. Because when we're experiencing, constant outcomes, like consistent outcomes, even if it's with one person or if it's with multiple people, there is a deeper reason for what those outcomes are trying to teach us, right? There's something is calling to be learned or healed or addressed in that moment. And we, have a tendency to be able to see it in other people, especially when you might be in that position where you tend to attract people who are a little bit more emotionally unavailable. It's really easy to see in emotionally unavailable people how they need to change, how they need to open up, how they're running, how they need to do better, all of these things. But there's always a mirror, right? So it's easy to say, oh, this person needs to do this so that they can have the love that they deserve. But the question isn't, what does this person need to do so that they can have the love that they deserve? The question is, what is this teaching you that you need to do to have the love that you deserve? When we are drawn to emotionally unavailable people, there's typically a wound that needs to be addressed. One of the number one ways that childhood trauma shows up in adult relationships is by trying to get people who don't know how to love us well to love us well. And that's the key. Don't know how, right? Because somebody can love you and care about you and have feelings for you, but not have the tools, the emotional availability or emotional intelligence or emotional awareness or capacity to give and receive that love in a healthy way. So the question isn't, does this person care about you or what are they thinking? The question is, why am I drawn to this cycle and what is this trying to teach me so I can break it and receive the love that I ultimately deserve and desire? So I feel like that's the perspective shift that Spirit's asking you to have here and I know what it's like, I went through before I met my husband, because my husband's the first healthy relationship I've ever had. And before I met him, I was in unhealthy relationship after unhealthy relationship. And it's so easy to, look at the people that you're dealing with and say, oh, this person, didn't love me well, or this person did this, or that person did that. And you might be right? You might be right in those certain, decisions that or those certain things that you're seeing. But none of that helps you, right? It keeps you powerless when you're looking at how other people need to change, grow, and heal. And the goal is to always look at the mirror of how it's pushing us to change, grow, and heal. And our relationships are mirrors, right? So the way that other people aren't able to love us well is a reflection of how we're needing to love ourselves well. And it's not to blame ourselves, okay? It's not to say, oh, shame on you for making these decisions or choosing these people. It's to say, I have more power than I think. And that power is in my choice and my decision of how to view this situation and ultimately move forward. Otherwise, if we don't learn anything or grow or heal, we're going to find ourselves back in the same relationship, back in the same dynamic. We're going to date 100 of the same people because they're all going to experience or have that same cycle, because that cycle has to be addressed. Whatever that cycle is trying to teach us has to be addressed. So we're going to look at that deeper in the extended, which you have quality time and connection. We're going to dive deeper into this connection, looking at the deeper purpose and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. Any information on that description box or on that extended is in the description box or caption below. But thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I obviously hope that this helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.